Call. We're going back to the 1980s, and we're talking specifically about mobile internet, the signal your phone uses when there's no Wi-Fi in sight. 5 generations, completely different worlds. No internet, no text, just one thing, a phone call. That's it. The entire technology existed so you could talk to someone without being near a landline. Revolutionary for the time, laughably limited by today's standards. The signal was analog, basically a radio wave carrying your voice through the air. The quality was terrible. The phones were the size of a brick. Some people carried them in a dedicated bag, just for the phone. Coverage was patchy. It was expensive, and only business people could really afford it. Regular people didn't even have access. This wasn't a consumer product. It was a privilege. If you had one, people stared. Not because it was cool, because it was genuinely rare. And yet, people were obsessed with it. Because for the first time in history, you could make a phone call from a car, from a street corner, from the middle of nowhere. The idea that communication could be untethered from a wall felt like magic. Inconvenient, expensive, low quality, magic, but magic nonetheless. But here's what matters. Someone looked at that clunky, overpriced, barely working system and said, "This is just the beginning." And they were more right than they knew. SMS, early 1990s. And something changes. Something nobody predicted would matter as much as it did. It wasn't clearer calls, though yes, the next leap in mobile technology made calls sharper and more secure. Digital signals are cleaner, more reliable, harder to intercept, a genuine improvement in every measurable way. But that's not the thing that changed the world. It was a tiny, almost throwaway feature that came with it. SMS. The text message. Nobody thought it would take off. The engineers who built it didn't even think people would use it regularly. It was almost an afterthought, tucked into the standard as a technical footnote. Nobody fought for it. Nobody championed it. It just quietly existed, and it became one of the most used communication tools in human history. Billions of messages sent every single day. An entire new language of abbreviations and shortcuts born out of a 160-character limit. Built on an idea nobody took seriously. That's the thing about technological revolutions. They rarely arrive announcing themselves. They sneak in through the side door. This era also introduced mobile data, barely. We're talking a trickle of speed over your cellular connection. You could send an email. You could load a web page if you had the patience of a monk and absolutely nowhere else to be. And yet, people did. They waited. They refreshed. They tried again. Because even broken mobile access to the internet felt like a glimpse of something enormous. But something had shifted. The phone in your pocket wasn't just for talking anymore. It was becoming something bigger, something nobody had a name for yet. You couldn't see it clearly, but you could feel it coming. Browsing, early 2000s, and now it clicks. This is the moment the internet stops being a luxury and starts being a utility. Households get connected. Regular people, at home. You can read the news online, book a flight, send a photo, look something up without going to the library. The internet becomes part of daily life, not as a novelty, but as a tool. And on mobile, something shifts too. Speeds jump enough that your phone can finally do more than call and text. You can browse a real website on the go. And in 2007, Apple launches the first iPhone, built entirely around the idea that the internet in your pocket isn't a bonus feature. It's the whole point. Before this era, smartphones were a solution looking for a problem. After it, they became the most important object most people own. And the network underneath made it possible. Not the hardware, not the software, the network. Here's the thing, though. It was still deeply frustrating. Buffering, dropped connections, pages that took forever to load. You could see where this was all heading. You just couldn't quite live there yet. That was about to change in a way nobody fully anticipated. Video, around 2010. This is where the modern world actually begins. Speeds reach 10 to 50 megabits per second. That's not a small jump. That's a completely different category. Suddenly, you can stream HD video at home, on your phone, on the train, without buffering. YouTube, Netflix, Spotify explode. Uber, Instagram, TikTok, all of it works, all of it loads, all of it just runs. The entire streaming economy that now shapes how billions of people spend their time. Built on this generation. Nobody planned for that. Nobody sat in a boardroom in 2009 and said, this upgrade is going to birth an entirely new economy. It just happened because the speed finally matched human ambition. And when that happens, people build things nobody imagined were possible. But even this has a ceiling. Pack 80,000 people into a stadium and watch every signal grind to a halt. Push it toward real-time applications. Autonomous vehicles, remote robotics, live smart infrastructure, and the physics simply won't allow it. The network buckles. The dream outgrows the pipe, which means the world needed something that shouldn't be physically possible. Think about it. Every single generation believed it had arrived, that this was enough speed, enough connection, enough. And every single time, it wasn't the destination. It was the runway. Instant. From 2019 onwards. And this is not a modest upgrade. The latest generation of mobile internet can hit 1,000 megabits per second. Some tests have recorded 10,000. A full HD movie gone in seconds. Not minutes, seconds. But speed isn't even the headline. The real story is latency. The delay between sending a signal and getting a response. At the previous level, 30 to 50 milliseconds. At this level, under 1 millisecond. That gap, tiny, invisible, imperceptible to a human, is the difference between a self-driving car reacting in time and not. Between a surgeon operating a robot from another country and that actually being safe. Between a smart city functioning in real time and just pretending to. This isn't a faster version of what you already have. It's infrastructure for a world that doesn't fully exist yet. And that's exactly why most people don't feel it yet. Scrolling social media at the previous speed level and this one feels almost identical. Because this generation wasn't built for what we're doing now. It was built for what's coming. The coverage is still patchy. The hardware requirements are real. The revolution it promises is still partly on paper, but every generation said that once.